All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trade. Today is Wednesday, September 28th, 2022. If you've not done so already, give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts and analysis. So anyways, lots to discuss here today. So first of all, we had kind of a buy the news move off of the lows here, and it was in regards to Apple cutting their production for the iPhone, and that kind of spooked the market out. We gapped down on Apple here, got all the way to 145. You can see overnight in the futures, we got way down almost to that 3600 handle. If we take a look here on the intra, so see we kind of dumped out there at the end, overnight, rolled over, and then we got a nice bid in the morning, and it ended up being kind of a buy the news type event. Market's oversold at a double bottom. You know, we made that kind of very clear in the last couple of videos here. We're looking for a bounce. And I would say that there's still a good chance of that, but there are some red flags coming up here. Major ones being that, you know, the spiders never got above 370.62 on a closing basis. So they hammered it back down. So there's your trend line right there. We'll just get that in there exact so you can see. We never closed above that. So there's the level right there, but they closed it just below, and that might not look like much, but it is. The last 10 minutes here, I'm fine with a little bit of profit taking, but the bulls should have been able to push this up above that level, and to see the same thing there on the SPX. So there's the level 37.27, and they pushed it right back below that before the close. That's a red flag to me. You know, if we're going to short squeeze, then you should be able to clear resistance and clear it convincingly, you know, by the closing bell. That's, you know, that's really 101 stuff. And you see the same thing here on the triple Qs. Unable to close above yesterday's pivot at 280.21. We closed at 279.94. You can see they pushed us down there in the last 10 minutes as well. Now, and the same thing really on the NASDAQ 100, on the actual NDX. Now, I will say the mixed bag portion of it is the Russell 2000 here. Russell 2000 did manage to get above that Friday pivot there from the 23rd, and it convincingly did so. It got rejected here at that blue trend line, but that's more of a longer term trend line. We're not really worried about that in the short term. So the Russell is outperforming right now, up 3% on the day. That is a good sign. Also, you know, the NASDAQ is not just the NASDAQ 100. We have to look at the composite as well. The composite did close above yesterday's pivot high. So we have kind of a mixed bag here, but it is a little red flaggy to me. So we could make a case as a falling wedge here also on the composite. So if we just draw these lines in, you could probably even go up to the top here, but they do have a potential falling wedge there on the composite we got to watch. But in any case, I really would have preferred a move above that level by the close on the spiders and the SPX. That would really kind of you know, make me feel assured that we're going to get a push up here. And, you know, I've been calling for one, and we did get a buy the news, and it was a classic buy the news scenario. You know, you get news like that from Apple. You know, it's really a gut shot to the market, but it's already so oversold. It's already beaten down. You're into support. That's usually going to mark a low, and that's what we got. We got a nice reversal. So, you know, who am I to say we don't get follow through to the upside tomorrow and we close above this level? But it is a red flag to me that we did not do that today. They couldn't push it up another 10 cents by the close. You know, like, come on. So that does show some bull weakness here. But I will say the best thing the bulls have going for them right now is that Russell 2000. That's a 3% move there, which is always going to be a good sign. So a little bit of a mixed tape. Definitely advising caution here moving forward. I was really hoping we'd get that bull move because I want to short this market again, but, you know, I'm not going to do it down at the lows where, you know, if you chase it down here, you can get your head ripped off if you're not careful. So right now it's just a little bit neutral. I'm still giving kind of the market an upside bias, but you got to be careful because they could fade this tomorrow. You know, just based on that close, it's very reminiscent of this candle back in May here. So we never closed above that pivot high, and that was the FOMC rally. You'll remember, we never closed above that pivot high, and you can see on the futures as well. The futures never got above that inside bar high, never closed above it, and then the next day they slammed us down. So I'm not saying that happens here. I mean, we're in a much different technical position here. We're very oversold still. And we'll be watching the futures here by 5 p.m. So the high there is 37.33. If we can get above that by 5 p.m. on the new daily rollover for the ES, that would be a little bit more of a positive. You'd add that to the positive pile, and we're basically right there right now, hovering right above it. So we'll see. I just really prefer the spiders and the SPX to get above that level. It's a bit of a red flag to me. Bottom line, I still think there's a good chance we can have a little bit of a rally here. We're just so oversold, but definitely err on the side of caution here. All right, let's move on here. So let's get through the sector. So semiconductors here, up 1.25% on the day. Again, getting pushed down in the last 10 minutes like everything else. Again, not getting above that pivot high. If you had the semiconductors, and the Russell 2000 getting above that pivot high, I would say we're probably fine. But semiconductors not able to do that. So again, a little bit under pressure there. IGV as well. Still up 2% on the day, but really kind of a soft move in the last 10 minutes as well. It did manage to get above that pivot there, 256.78. So again, a slight positive. I would rather see the semiconductors do it than IGV, but it's still a small positive. And then the Dow transports did get outside of that range, although this has been way oversold. So this was bound to get a reflex bounce in any case. But again, it still has resistance up at that 12.8 area, and then 13,000 down sloping 20 moving average, gap window, all that good stuff up there. So that's your resistance area for the transports. But yeah, again, just would have really preferred the semis and the spiders to get above that level. But the Dow transports at least pulled their weight for what that's worth. All right, interest rates today. So 10-year finally backing off, down 6.5%. Again, major bond market volatility going on. This is not a bullish thing, by the way, guys. TYX here, the 30-year, down just under 4%. And the 2-year managed to put together a little winning streak here. So 2 days in a row for the first time. Well, you got to go all the way back to July. We had 2 days in a row up on the 2-year bond. So little bit of relief there for U.S. Treasuries. Let's take a look at the curves. I haven't really looked much at this today. Yep, so curves getting a little bit more relief there. There's the 5s and 30s upticking, 10s and 30s, 3-month, 10-year. That's actually, sorry, 2s and 10s backing down a little bit. So 2-month 2s and 10s backing off, and then 3-month 10-year also backing off. So right back down into this range here on the 3-month 10-year. So we'll have to be careful with those. But 5s, 30s, 10s, 30s, getting a little bit of relief here. So a small positive for the market in the near term. And the 2-year, which is really the important one, getting a bid. So again, it's very oversold. Not surprising that it got a relief bounce here. So we'll just kind of leave it at that for now. But yeah, still a brutal chart here, any way you slice it or dice it. All right, home builders, XHB, nice move. So 5% off the lows. Again, we talked about that 54 handle. We tested on Monday, tested again yesterday, and got a nice bid off of it. So a nice move there. Again, this will have resistance at 58, so that is your short-term target there. ITB, a nice move as well, 5% gainer. Again, same level there. Pierced it Monday, Tuesday. Nice little reflex bounce today. We'll see what it does. Let's see if it backs off that 20 moving average tomorrow, and then you also have that 55 handle. Right above that, if you get through that, it's up to gap window at 56.50. And then the VNQ here, also a nice reversal here off that 80 handle. Still didn't even get out. Still wasn't even an outside day, and really not on great volume either. So this has really got a lot of work to do still, but this will have resistance at 85 and around 87. So VNQ getting a little bit of a lift here, but still a sector under a lot of pressure. XLF up 2% on the day, so basically mirroring the spiders. Again, not able to get above that key pivot high from Friday, and really didn't even challenge it. So even on that whole short squeeze, if you even want to call it that, that intraday rally, we'll call it, that we had all day long, it never even got close to the Friday pivot high. And in the last 10 minutes, it really backed off there. So financials showing a little bit of weakness here. But, we got a dead cat bounce there on XLF, so we'll just leave it at that. XPD, same kind of thing. Nowhere near Friday's candle, and definitely not even above Monday's high either. So financials under a little bit of pressure here. And this has been a sector that's been leading, and now this is becoming a little bit of a laggard. So definitely keep that on your radar moving forward. All right, flipping over to energy here. So crude up 4.5%, just under 4.5, we'll call it. Getting back to that 82 handle, or just shy of that rather. It's a nice little outside day here. This might be the low. I was really hoping for a move into this lower trend line, closer to that 75 handle. Really wanted to add to my crude oil long position. But, sometimes the market doesn't always give it to you. And, when you're in a bull market, which oil is in a bull market, it's hard to believe it over the last couple of months, but it's in a bull market. Sometimes the dips get bought before you think they're going to get bought. So that's just how bull markets behave. But nice little outside move there. I will know more, and I'll feel more comfortable calling a low here if we get something like an engulfing reversal this week, or really any weekly close above 86.68 would give it to you. But I like that reaction there off the 100 moving average. It's being defended. That's institutions are stepping in there, so that is a good sign for crude. Nice little bounce there. And we'll see what we get by the end of the week. The weekly close will be important for crude oil. XLE, also a nice move. Again, not above Friday's candle. Last 10 minutes of the day, they pushed it right back down. So we'll be watching that tomorrow. It's got its work cut out for it. The whole market's got its work cut out for it. We just got to, we just have to, if the spiders could be up 10 cents tomorrow, and I would take that as bullish. I just want to see us get above that pivot. I mean, it's not like we're asking for a lot here, but the bulls are just making it difficult. The XLE here, again, work cut out for it. That's your level right there. So 72.90 right there on the XLE. XOP, again, going back to the mixed bag, you had XOP, so exploration, was up and did get above Friday's high, and well above Friday's high, so up 6.5% there. Again, this is a little bit more oversold than XLE was, so it makes sense that it's getting a bigger bounce, as was OIH, up 4.64% on the day. Again, the mixed bag. You have two of the energy ETFs unable to get above Friday's high, and one of them that was. So a little bit of red flag. I would prefer to see more things be able to clear that level, but it is what it is here. We got to be cautious moving forward. All right, anyways, nat gas. Still kind of just struggling with this level. It is getting a little bit of a bounce here. It's got to get above this high before it can get to 750, but it's hanging in there. I don't really have a trade on Natty right now. We'll just call it like it is. It's got to bounce off of 650, and it's hanging in there for the meantime. But if it starts going sideways, that means it's setting up a base to push lower. So we'll definitely be on guard for that. If you get through 750, it's back up to this 120 moving average, and then of course that upsloping trend line as well. All right, dollar index. This is the reason for the rally today. All about the dollar. I told you guys 114 would be a stall area. We got a nice pullback. We're down to 112.75. Short term, again, yesterday I said like 111.75, 111.50, and then 110.75 would be your kind of pullback targets here for the dollar. So if this continues to pull back, I do expect the spiders to follow through and push to the upside here. So we'll be watching the dollar index. If the dollar starts to come into support, and the spiders are coming into 382, 390, something like that, you probably figure that that's going to be where the next sell opportunity is going to be at in the broad indices. So we'll be watching the dollar index very closely. Again, you got to pull back off 114. I do not think it's done yet, but it is into a short-term level, and we should get some type of reaction off of it, at least in the meantime. All right, and obviously, conversely, gold, liking the weaker dollar, up 2% on the day. Again, it's nice little outside candle, good volume behind it. Still has to get back above 1675, but a nice little pop there for gold. GDX, a nice little outside day there as well. Possible fake breakdown on this falling wedge, and a nice little close of the day. This is one of the names that was strong into the close. Didn't even pull back at all. So that last 10 minutes, the gold miners did rally up into the close and showed a little bit of leadership there. So that is a good sign for tomorrow. And gold getting a nice bid here in the near term. Doesn't mean it's necessarily put in its low yet, but that's a nice little bid there off the lows for now. And we'll just kind of leave it at that. Silver here, nice little outside candle. This is a good test candle here. So we came all the way back down, tested sub 18, 17.95, and a nice outside day closing back above that green bar low. Again, this is still a failed pattern. This pattern still failed, but you're back in that range now, and I'll have to watch for pattern on the upside. Can it form another bullish pattern? Can it make a higher high? These types of things here. We'll have to watch that moving forward, but I'm not getting back into silver just yet. we've got to watch and wait for pattern to see how it sets up. Platinum here, same kind of thing. Nice little move, possible higher lows here, so you could still make a case. You got the W, and then here's your V pullback. And now we just need an up move, and a bullish pattern probably gets me back into platinum. Traded that twice this year already. Done pretty well on it so far. Would not be opposed to getting back in, but I just want to see how it behaves here in the next couple of days. And then palladium here, also a nice little bit off of that 100 moving average from yesterday. Just a little bit of a continuation. Still has some short-term resistance at 21.74, so that is your short-term level there for PA. And then for copper here, a nice little reversal. So trying to put in a higher low here, daily chart higher low. And then if we look on the weekly, again, they're defending that green bar low. So we got below 331 in the overnight, all the way down to 324. We managed to get back inside of that. We need to see a close above 331 on Friday. And if you do that, then copper is technically safe for the time being. And then let's get over to crypto finally. Bitcoin having a nice day, up 2.5% here. So kind of shaking off yesterday's move. So you still technically have like a little inside bar here on Bitcoins. We never even tested the lows really yesterday of the green bar. So again, this is a tiny little inside bar pattern, but you know, it could still play out. We have a lot of resistance though up above at this trend line, and then that red bar there. But crypto's hanging in there okay. Ether as well, same kind of pattern. Again, we talk about these levels every day. Just watching that white trend line. If that breaks to the upside, Ether could have a pretty sizable move, but I'm not sure if that happens. It's just a possibility at this point. But anyways, let's get back over here. So spiders, again, would have preferred a close above that area. Today we didn't get it. Maybe we can get it tomorrow. I just would have liked to see more bull strength into the close. That would make me feel a lot better about saying, yes, we're going to continue up tomorrow. If we do continue up, you know, there's a little bit of resistance at gap fill. And then on the SPY, you've got, you know, 381.50, you know, 20 moving average, and then 390 is kind of your big level there on the upside. Anyways, guys, going to wrap it up here. You guys take care. Be careful trading this market. Could go either way tomorrow with that mixed bag close. But in any case, we'll help you navigate best we can. We'll see what we get tomorrow out here. Anyways, guys, take care. I'll talk to you all tomorrow.